This is the United Podcast Network.
Welcome to Sports World-USA. Every week, our hosts present a fun and informative dive into the world of sports memorabilia. Join radio legend Mikey Adams and the owner of the largest, most established sports memorabilia store in New England, Phil Castanetti, as they take you through the world of card collecting, collectible autographs, and all things sports memorabilia. You have questions? Phil has answers. You want to find an exclusive item? Phil will find it. You want to buy the items on display during the show? They will sell it to you. Get your bidding fingers ready. Here's Mikey and Phil.
Yes! I can hear that we're on the air. You know, when I hear my voice through these headphones, being the broadcaster that I am, Phil, I know I'm on the air. So I can hear the feedback coming through. I know it's you. Now let's see if you can hear you.
I can.
It's magic. Phil Castanetti, everybody, who had a birthday last week. He's finally 40.
Yeah, again.
Jesus, what? It took forever, didn't it?
It seemed like it.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
It was last weekend, right? Well,
It was Monday.
Monday, right. And tomorrow is Monday again. And here we are on a Sunday, the 5th of July. Doing our podcast live from the what's it called? Ben?
Studio 21 Podcast Cafe.
Yeah, if I could pan these cameras around, you'd see that it looks like a beautifully revamped Domino's pizza. I'm kidding. Ben Kitchen's right over here. And how you been? Everything good?
Yeah, everything's real good. Had a busy week and just business has been crazy. I don't know why, but
good.
It's just crazier than ever.
Now, I think people are starting to realize that it's going to be a long time before anyone can get any autographs from any professional athletes, and you already have them all.
We do have a lot. I mean, I probably have 50, 60,000 in the store right now.
Autographs.
Baseballs, pucks, pictures.
Wow.
Basketballs, piece of the parquet. I just bought a
Hold
nice
on.
lot.
This is a piece of the actual original parquet?
Original Boston Garden parquet from the old garden.
Who signed this?
That one is Robert Parish, Larry Bird, and Kevin McHale.
Stop it. That's tremendous piece. I want this. Ladies and gentlemen, I get overwhelmed with joy when I see certain things like this. And Phil knows better than anybody exactly what has that appeal and what doesn't. I don't think should I hold this up? Yes. Like right here? Let's get a close-up of these. Here, let's find the camera. Get these shoes out of the way. We'll talk about those shoes in a minute. So these are three original pieces of the parquet floor, the original parquet floor.
The original
of the old Boston
days,
Garden. Yeah. And signed by the Big Three.
Yep.
Now this is, because the Big Three has so much sentimental value to people, the 80s basketball Celtics were, to me, and I'm saying this without any cause or pause, that was the greatest team I ever witnessed, and I so enjoyed watching them, and everybody did. It was
just a great time, and people still. I mean, they seem to like this team better than any of the current teams.
Yes,
and Larry Bird and these three here, Bird, Parish, McHale, just did so much, and
they were the great. Well, and it has that sentimental value to people because. Not only were they great with the championships and the banners and the retired numbers from the players that were on that team, but they had magnetic personalities. They were all different. I mean, Dennis Johnson was great. McHale was a nut. Parish, I remember my favorite Parish story was when I asked him after a game that they had lost, what happened out there, Robert? He goes, well, we have to play better, both collectively and as a team. I said, I got to use that in the news. It's just too great. He always had weird things he said. One guy walks by, somebody goes, who's that, Chief? He goes, oh, him? That's our latest transaction.
He is a funny guy.
Yeah, he was great. And so those pieces of art. Now, what would you want for something like that in your store? Is there an asking price on that? Because, I want to get in on this.
That set is $600.
$600.
Which is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, well, for the uniqueness of it, completely. Do you take the individual autographs and their value in today's market? Larry's not out signing stuff.
No, Larry does very little, and if he does, it's private. He doesn't meet people, and
right. He's shy.
Yeah.
If that's one way of putting it.
Yeah, he's different, but he's never been a big signer, and
right. Now, I saw him signing an autograph outside because I used to do a lot of live shots from the garden, and he once in a while would get somebody to bring a ball over to him, and what's weird about Larry is, he's a right-handed player, but he writes left-handed. And he's not the only guy that has that oddity going on.
Like Corey, he does that. He throws righty and writes lefty.
Seriously?
Yeah.
You know who else was in that same category? And it's weird when you see Larry Bird. You say, "Well, why is he writing left-handed?" Well, and you see his signature. His signature is kind of odd. Brooks Robinson writes left-handed, batted righty, threw righty. One of the greatest glove men in the history. The best third baseman.
I'll tell you another one.
Who?
Fred Lynn.
Fred writes lefty?
No, he writes righty.
Oh, okay, right. It throws lefty. Yeah, you're right.
He threw lefty, hit lefty, and he writes right-handed.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
It's really weird, yeah.
Did anyone have a better stroke for the monster in left field than him? He could double off that wall, it seemed like, anytime he wanted to.
He told me stories. We're pretty close, and he was telling me stories about how when he first came here, he looked at that and said, this is just right up my alley.
Right there.
And every time we're together, someone will come over and say, what, Fred, if you stayed here, you'd be in the Hall of Fame. And he knows it.
Yeah.
But he said, I didn't leave because I wanted to leave. I was kind of forced out of town when Mrs. Yawkey was going crazy with Fisk and Burleson and Lynn. And
they got the bums rush, and for no reason, Hayward, Sullivan, and it was just a bad scene because these players were the makings of a dynasty forever.
Yeah.
For another 5, 6, 7 years, they could have been a tremendous team if they'd been able to keep Fisk and Burleson and Freddie Lynn. It was really kind of a sick thing.
Crazy.
So anybody that's out there that has a grudge against the old Red Sox upper management from that era, you have every right to do that. And I'm right there with you. And so's Phil. Phil Castanetti has Sports World. It's on Broadway. It's
87 Broadway.
87 Broadway.
Route 1 South in Saugus.
He's been busy over there for good reason. It's a tremendous walkthrough. When I go over there, I don't just go over there, grab an item, and leave. I go meandering through the aisles of Sports World because it was without question the biggest and the broadest availability of different stuff. This is a classic example that you brought in, the pieces of the parquet. And these are
Gordon Hayward's shoes that he wore last year with the Celtics.
Gordon Hayward's shoes.
Just to be clear, those aren't the shoes he destroyed his ankle in, are they?
I hope not.
Yeah, there's some ankle meat in here. That's not good. Those are Gordon Hayward's shoes. Now, what size did he wear?
I think those are 16s.
16s?
But you see how... Watch out.
Oops, I'm sorry. Hey, Mick, how you doing? I'm sorry, Mick. Mickey Mantle, which is Phil's dog, is... well, that's not too bad. I got a 10.
Yeah, try one of these. These are even bigger.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. Whose are these now?
These are Al Horford's.
Al Horford's sneakers. He signed them? No, that's not a signature.
They do
his ID.
codes, and they all do something. And
so you know whose shoes are whose. You don't want to put your dog Mickey Mantle up for sale. He's on the floor. There you go, friends. That's a beautiful thing, huh? Big feet.
It's the most you've stretched in years.
I'm starting to get some pain in my shoulder from doing this. How do you get sneakers? That's crazy. And is there a market for these?
Yeah, there's a market for everything right now. I mean, everybody collects something different, and shoes, game used items, anything, jerseys.
Yeah,
it's all. Well, very popular.
We see it in the card pack. So a little piece of a uniform like that is enough to get people crazily opening boxes of cards to try to get that special piece that has the actual piece of the game in it, if you will. And now, as things get different, it used to be just the card. Then it was the autograph. So now, what about autograph cards? Does it enhance the card, or does it hurt the card when it's signed?
Well, it used to be that people didn't want to get cards signed. Now it's another craze that, especially rookie cards, signed rookie cards right now are just, the Yaz's and Reggie Jacksons, and any rookie card that's signed is just, it's red hot.
Yeah, I remember. You remember the great Gene Conley?
I know him well.
Sweetheart of a man. What a nice guy. 6'7".
6'7".
Played for the Celtics. Played for the Braves and the Red Sox. But his key to his uniqueness was the fact that he played on 2 championship teams in the same calendar year, the Milwaukee Braves of 58 or the Celtics, whatever. And he won 2 championships, 2 trophies in 2 different sports in 1 year as a 2-sport star. But you wouldn't know it. I mean, he wasn't a great pitcher. He was a reliever, and he wasn't a great basketball player, but he was good enough to make them pros in both sports. And what a nice guy.
He was a great guy.
I had him on my television show. We talked about old stories. He was so great. And I said to him, he said, he goes, I pitched in 59 for the whole season with a sore arm. I said, well, why? Why didn't you go on the DL? He goes, no. He goes, I needed the money. People needed the money, but the money they made from the sports back then. It wasn't the same. They couldn't just take a season off. He played both sports. And then afterwards, he signed one of his cards, an old Milwaukee Braves, like 1950-something card, signed it and sent it to me to give to my son. He's just a very thoughtful human being. He passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
Gene Conley. Now, so his autograph may not be worth a lot on the market, but when you know the story and you know the individual, it's worth a lot, and things have personal meaning to people.
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, as these guys are getting older and dying off, and, the younger people are starting to look back and say, wow, I wish I met that guy. I wish I got an autograph. And
yeah, it's an amazing thing. And once someone passes away, you have no shot of getting more of that product anymore. That kind of puts a stop on everything.
Oh, yeah.
And changes the price structure of the value.
Well, everything's going to change now anyway, because a lot of these guys aren't going to be wanting to do autograph shows anymore.
Because of COVID.
Exactly. I mean, and I really don't see the meet and greets coming back for a while anyway.
Yeah. Well, till there's some kind of, what do you call
it?
A
fix.
What's that? Vaccine, right? Now, Ben over here has had a vaccine for everything because he gets around a little bit.
Yeah, now I'm bulletproof. It's fantastic.
We could always try that out.
You want to go outside?
Ben Kitchen. Yeah, like at Hamilton, having a duel. You imagine in the old days they settled their problems by having a duel. Instead of, arguing each other and bitching about each other on the internet, they'd go outside, they go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 5 steps around. Okay, I win,
It was crazy.
That's what it was like. I wonder what a Hamilton bullet from the duel would go for in a collectible sense. So that's Al Horford's sneakers.
Those are the Martin Luther King Day shoes, too.
Oh, okay. So he wore those
special one day only. He wore them.
MLK Day sneakers.
Yep.
And they're size, 19?
17.
17. Oh, they look bigger than that to me. You sure they're 17s?
I'm positive.
You sure? Because my cat could sleep in that thing right there. That's pretty giant. Now let's talk bobbleheads for a second. Bobbleheads, I have a whole collection of the ones you buy at Fenway, and it's like, okay, what am I going to do with a Jacoby Ellsbury bobblehead now? I got Carl Everett. I mean, all these old guys that don't matter. And there's some good guys in there that were Red Sox stalwarts. But the ones you buy, I like the oddball bobbleheads, that they have a one-night thing. Like this one here, my late friend and your friend, Dick Raddatz. Here, let me put it down right here. I'm driving Ben crazy. Ben, zoom in on that thing. I'll leave it where it is. Not the sneakers. There you go. He's got a thing for Gordon Hayward sneakers. You want me to odor check them for you? Smell like Utah. This is Dick Raddatz right here, everybody. Now, for those of you that don't know, for you youngsters out there that don't know, Dick Raddatz was known as the Monster. He pitched from 62, 61.
62, I think.
62. Really, really well for the Red Sox. Fireman of the Year. He was second in the Rookie of the Year voting. I think Tom Tresh beat him out.
He did.
Yeah, Tom.
One of the first shows I ever did was Tresh and Dick Raddatz.
Oh my God!
At the Kowloon.
And he beat him out.
Yeah.
Tresh beat him out, but Tresh shouldn't have beat him out. He was a Yankee, so he got more votes, right?
Yeah, and he did have a good year.
He did.
But
number 15 for the Yankees, Tom Tresh, switch hitter.
I own the last number 15 jersey ever worn.
You got it?
Because it was retired because of Thurman Munson.
Yeah.
And Tommy wore it in the 2008 Old Timers Day at Yankee Stadium.
Oh,
I called
great.
him after the game, and he gave me his shirt and signed it. And
that's tremendous.
And now he died like a couple months later after that, so there'll never be another 15.
Yeah, number 15 in the Yankees. A lot of retired Yankee numbers.
Yeah.
Raddatz, of course, wore 17. Let's turn him around here, number 17. He pitched in the first game. In fact, he pitched in both of the first two games I ever saw at Fenway Park, doubleheader action. So I was a Monster fan right away. He's the first big leaguer I ever met. He became a very good friend of mine and a co-host on my radio show. Came to my wedding. I love the guy. I miss him a lot.
Yeah.
2005, he passed away, but he was the coach of the North Shore Spirit a couple of years before he died over in Lynn. he was pitching coach, and he was about 380 pounds, and he'd call the pitcher over when he wanted to have a conference. He'd call the pitcher over to the dugout. He wouldn't even leave the dugout. He just talked to him from there.
He was a funny man.
He was great, and this was they had Dick Raddatz bobblehead night, and I, of course, got one because I think Raddatz gave it to me. But these are oddities. It's not about the intrinsic monetary value. Again, with some of these things, it's about what does it mean to you?
Yeah.
What kind of value does it have to you as an individual? Now, in this case, since we both know him, things Dick Raddatz, we like him better because we knew the guy. I also had an opportunity to know Katherine Tappan a little bit. God, she's a lovely woman. Very, very sweet, kind person. And she's now doing extremely well, Phil, nationally with the hockey coverage. Now, this was a Worcester Sharks. She did an appearance at the Worcester Sharks, and they had Katherine Tappan bobblehead night. And here she is with a hockey stick. And by the way, she's much prettier than this. She's lovely.
She's a pretty girl.
Yeah, and she's very. None of this ever went to her head. I guess you can take the hockey stick right out of her hands if you want to. She's never let any of it go to her head. She's not. She's a wonderful person too. And she's doing extremely well. But so what could I get for this for the real hardcore Katherine Tappan fan?
$25.
Yeah? I should call Katherine. Maybe she can be 27 for it.
Have her sign it.
Now, how do you sign a bobblehead like this?
Usually they'll sign them on the base in the white.
Okay, down here?
Yeah.
So you can actually get that signed. This one's too late for that one, but because bobbleheads, you have them.
Yeah.
What are some of the greatest ones you have, or the most collectible of the ones you have?
Well, they did them back in the early 60s. So
yeah, but they were better then.
Oh, yeah. But they also broke a lot easier because they were made of like some kind of plaster.
Yeah, and the heads came off all the time.
Yeah. But, there's some worth thousands of dollars, the old ones.
Yeah.
Now, they produce a lot of everything now, so there's nothing that's that valuable. But,
yeah.
The average is $15 to $25.
Right.
Like there's a Marvin Hagler one that's very sought after, and we just can't seem to find it anywhere.
Wow.
And it's a $100 bobblehead.
Yeah. Marvin Hagler, to this day, I talked to Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay, I don't talk to him regularly. I talked to him in Vegas. I said, you lost that fight. He's like, fight me at it. Oh, I said, I'm from Boston. He goes, oh, okay.
I was at that fight.
That explains it. Yeah, he lost the fight. Sugar Ray lost that fight.
He didn't win it, that's for sure.
No, he didn't hurt anybody.
No.
He's going, bip, 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 and Hagler saying, yeah, whatever, boom, boom. Hagler won that fight, and to this day that was the biggest ripoff in boxing history that I can remember.
Yeah, it was tough. The champion doesn't lose, on a decision like that. Nah.
Yeah, the whole world of boxing is, Don King. I remember Don King. He said he wanted a rematch right away after one fight. He stands up there. I don't remember which fight it was. It was like the minute he gets in a ring afterwards, you knew it was once his guy lost or it was edged out or was a draw. I don't remember what exactly. He said, "We demand equal reciprocity." Equal? Is there any other kind of reciprocity than equal? I don't know, man. Is he still active, Don King?
I don't think he's active. He's alive, but you haven't heard anything of him.
He's hiding somewhere. He's doing some
all the money that he stole.
Hiding act. Now, tell everybody, before I show off this beautiful bat, tell everybody how people can get involved in what you have in your store, website-wise and phone number-wise, and we know it's 87 Broadway?
87 Broadway, which is Route 1 South in Saugus, Mass. The website is sportsworld-usa.com, and the phone number is 781-233-7222.
Greatest phone number ever. And they have everything there, just so you know. Autographed pictures, framed autographed artwork from various superstars, signed balls of every kind from every sport, pucks. You even had, I was there one time and I was like, wait a minute, you have a lock of Mickey Mantle's hair? Not you, the doggy. Not you, doggy. The actual Mick. You had that.
We did, yeah.
So how'd you get that?
People, I mean, there's stuff right now. There's Elvis's hair that people. There's a clump of Elvis's hair that just
From his head?
popped up. I guess.
Because it would be nasty if it was from his armpits, wouldn't it? Now, how's that? How do you know that's Elvis's hair? Well, it smells like peanut butter and bananas. Everything you could possibly want at the Sports World store. I'm heading there in the next couple of weeks myself. Now, have you ever seen one of these before?
I have.
This is my original baseball hero was Yaz. He and Tony C. back in 1964. And Raddatz too. I mean, there were only 3 stars on that team in 64, unless you're a big Bob Tillman fan. This is a Yaz. Can I hold it steady like this? Now, you watch Ben do his camera work. Look at this. He does this. He does this in the dressing rooms at the at the cheerleaders camp.
Stop giving away my secrets.
I'm kidding. You do it at home. This is a Carl Yastrzemski signed bat, and you recognize the signature.
I do.
It's legit.
It's very legit.
Hall of Fame 89, Triple Crown 67, and it's on a Cooperstown bat. Now, what would make this special or different because it's on a Cooperstown bat?
Because they only make a limited edition. I don't know how many they made of that, but usually they're numbered.
Here, have a look. I get one of the unnumbered ones?
They don't do it with everything, but...
Number 8. It's number 8. Wouldn't that be great, huh? So what does something like this go for? Because I'm not selling it, just so you know. I'm not. I'm just going to hang in my basement till I'm dead.
And then I'll sell it.
Then my son will get it. Then you'll get it. Yeah. So what is something like that?
300 to 400.
Yeah? It's in that range?
Yeah.
I still do the best Yaz impersonation of anybody on earth. Go ahead. Pretend that I'm Yaz. Ask me a couple questions. Go ahead. Any questions?
All right, Yaz. What do you think of the Impossible Dream season of 67?
Well, of course, I was very, very fortunate in 1967. I have a Triple Crown winner, and of course we won the pennant. And it came up short for the World Series, but it was basically for Mr. Yorkie, Mrs. Yorkie, Mr. Yorkie, both Mr. and Mrs. Yorkie. But it was a very, very good year, and it seemed like every time I came off the ball to the plate in the ball game, I was able to deliver and to get a base hit to help the ball club. Does that sound like him?
Sounds just like him.
No, just let me light a cigarette and have a Miller. We'll be all good to go. It's Phil Castanetti, everybody. The show is called sportsworld-usa.com, which is, of course, his website too. And, we'll be back next week. By the way, next week, just so you know, where's the music coming from? Next week, I'm going to be doing the show in a Speedo, and Phil's going to be wearing a top hat. So be ready for that.
Is it Mark Spitz's Speedo?
Mark Spitz? Mark Spitz when he talks. Did you know that? He looks so stupid without a mustache, doesn't he?
I haven't noticed.
Mark Spitz! Oh, you got a napkin or something? See ya.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.